Welcome to Nemo's kiteboarding travel tips. Woo! Now, one thing you have to do when you go to Brazil is you have to make a Brazil video. Pretty much every Brazil video follows the exact same formula since forever. If you don't believe me, check out Rich Sable's video, Mopes and More, where he pretty much lays it out, and then watch some Brazil videos, and you'll pretty much know what I'm talking about. And so, if you're going to Brazil, you have to keep things fresh. And if you're a pro kiteboarder, like I'm not, you have to distract people from your shitty tricks. And the way to do that is to show up on the beach with a fresh look. Oh yeah, that's so nice and pretty. Now when you're traveling, one thing you're always worried about is dinging up your brand new sweet board. I have here the 2017 Nash Monarch, pretty shiny. And the last thing you want to do is put it in your board bag, and when it comes out, it's all dinged up. So what I do, and by the way, I got this great tip from Roy, my friend back home. You go to Home Depot and you get this hollow foam material and you cut a slit in it. You then wrap it all the way around and it works amazing. And look at that with the board all comfy and snuggly. Now one cool thing about this material is when your friends play pranks on you, which always happens on kite trips, it's a very good way to get back at them. There's nothing worse than when you show up at a tropical, beautiful destination and you get there and the wind's too light and you didn't pack a big enough kite, or it's too strong and you get blown off the water. So my advice is pack more kites. Just bring 3 or 4 kites no matter where you go. And here's how I do that. Step 1 is take the kites out of the bag. So I have here in one board bag, I have 3 kites, 14, 11, and 9. And then what I do is I take the 7 and kind of unwrap it a little bit and I put it on top. And this way I'm able to fit 4 kites in one bag. And voila, there you have it. I got all 4 kites in this kite bag with no problem at all. Now you do want to bring one of your kite bags. This is my big 14 meter, and it's nice to bring one from going from your hotel or your posada to the beach and protecting your gear, going in a boat or whatever. I use this as my carry-on when I go on the flight, and these bags are huge. You can fill them with tons of stuff, and they're actually great for smuggling drugs, small children, and puppies. One of the golden rules of travel, and especially kite travel, is pack light. I only bring 1 article of clothing. That's it. You want to see it? This is my Chewbacca onesie. As you can see, it's really warm and cozy and protects you on the flight. And it's also very nice when you're out in the lagoon all day to protect you from the sun. And it also has a little man purse for carrying reales. I'm just kidding. I would never bring a Chewbacca onesie to Brazil. Are you kidding me? What kind of idiot would do that? All right, so next we're going to talk about kite swag essentials. My most important things when I travel. And number 1 on the list might be these Audio Flood headphones. These are waterproof headphones that you buy from Amazon, and they're like 180 bucks. And ever since I've been riding with Tunes, it's been a game changer. I can't even imagine riding without them now. Got to bring your woo, you know, in case the wind gets good. You got to pop up on the leaderboard. Of course, the new GoPro 5, which is super sick. All these need the floaty. Of course, do the floaty. And I've added the mouth mount. I know it looks funny, but I'm kind of over biting the floaty. It actually makes a really good shot biting the floaty, and your head's very stable and it goes where you want. But after biting the floaty for like 5-10 minutes, maybe I'm not a professional biter. I don't know what my problem is, but my mouth gets tired. And so I've decided to try this puppy, and I'll let you know how it goes. And who knows what else it could be used for. We'll see. The line mount, pretty standard. Your buddies aren't around and they're riding, you don't want to bother them, you just throw that on and you get your trick that way. I got a DLSR this year, and of course for kiting you have to have a long lens to get any decent shots. So pretty stoked on these new toys, and it came with a travel bag. So that's my kite swag this year. Now you may ask me, Nemo, what about your drones? Drones are beautiful, they make great footage. This is true. But after watching what's happened to drones the past 2 years, I have 2 pieces of advice. 1, get good renter's insurance with a low deductible. And 2, because drones do not fly underwater very well. That's about all I got to say about drones. Now, one thing that I think is really cool and important to do is rep your local homies when you're traveling abroad. It's the best advertising you can possibly have. So, here we go. SoCal kites off the hook! Tacos made from kittens and rainbows. Now, is it just me, or is this a damn good looking t-shirt? Thank you, Slider Project. And one thing I've noticed, which is pretty gay and awesome, is that this shirt happens to perfectly match my board shorts. Say the common sense ain't that common, so I'm gonna say some obvious stuff. Always bring 2 leashes, leashes snap, bring 2 bars, bars break. In fact, on my first day in the lagoon, I jacked up, and I'm already on my 2nd bar. Thank God I brought it. And if you wear boots, it's nice to bring a set of straps because you get burned out in the boots doing wake style tricks. Your arms get tired. It's nice to cruise around in the straps and just do something different, hooked in, dangly stuff. And these are actually also pretty sick in the club. I do my Running Man in these, and I get so many ladies you would not believe. The secrets of sunblock. So one thing that's very misleading about sunblock is it doesn't really matter the number too much. 15 is almost as good as 30, and 30 is pretty much the same as 50 or 100 or whatever. And so what's really more important instead of the number is what it's made out of. And that's why I really love this aloe gator stuff. It's like this thick gel, and it stays on until you rub it off. Gel stuff, and it's really good for lubricating other stuff. And I actually put a layer on my face, and then on top of that, make sure I keep this $1 million smile. I use either Headhunter stick, or I use this pretty sick Vertra stick, which I actually like a little bit better than the Headhunter, but they both work pretty awesome. And just give you an example with the Vertra. You want to cover all the spots the sun gets, like there and under here. When you want to go to the club, you can now do that kind of stuff. One thing I think is kind of underrated is the importance of eye protection on the water. You're getting water from the sun, and you're also getting it glaring off, and especially if you're at a white sand beach. And so I actually like these C-Specs because they're kind of cheap, and I break them and lose them sometimes. So I actually have like 3 or 4 of these pairs, and I always bring 2. And sometimes I bring extra lenses. And when you go to the club, you can actually use all 3. And so instead of beer goggles, you can just get sunglass goggles, and you don't need to drink, so it saves you a lot of money. It's my secret tip of the day. So a lot of times when you're on a kite trip, you might have a few too many, and you want to sleep in, and you're in the tropics. The sun is blasting. So that's why I picked up a pair of these nice pillowy sunshades. And I also have a pair of these earplugs. They're actually called the world's finest natural earplugs, and they're made out of this like Play-Doh material, and they work pretty awesome. And yeah. So that's it. I hope you liked my top 10 kite travel tips. I have a bonus tip for you for watching this whole video. Every time I go somewhere, I bring something to learn that I've never done before. In this case, I brought a recorder. So far, I've learned that it has 8 holes and a secret hole on the bottom. Then you blow, and then snakes usually appear, but so far I'm not good enough for the snakes. And then the other thing I've brought is a Rubik's Cube, which I've always wanted to learn. And so far I've already made a lot of progress in like 3 or 4 days. I've learned how to go from solved to unsolved in like 10 moves. Look at that. Pretty sick. I'm doing a video with my friends. Oh, you want to get in it? Hi! Socos made from plutonium. You don't need 4 board bags wherever you're going. You really only need 1 essential parts that the sun gets right there. Yeah, that's covered.